All right, this is CIW. Got some dirty panels, but right now I'm going to mount a soiling sensor on the end of this torque tube right about here, right next to that irradiance sensor. So what I'm going to do is here's the soiling sensor, and it's just going to mount on that Unistrut like that. So I just have to bolt the Unistrut on, and then I'm going to use number 10 self-drilling sheet metal screws. No, those are number 12 by a 3/4 inch, and some big fender washers that are like a number 10 hole. So that's what I'm going to screw that shallow Unistrut onto the big torque tube over there with. Right. Okay. I just mounted the Unistrut with these number 12 by 3/4 inch self-drilling screws and some big fender washers with about a number 10 hole, and those screws drilled right through that torque tube and threaded themselves right in. All right, so it's super strong. Number 12 is a really robust size for a small piece of equipment like this. Even number 10 screws would be fine, but I just wanted to make sure. So the next thing I'm going to do is mount the sensor right here on this Unistrut. The Unistrut has spring nuts and cone nuts that fit inside this track that a nut can, or a bolt, a 1/4 inch bolt or a 3/8 inch bolt, can thread right into them. So there you see you have one. I got the cone nuts mounted into a little piece of shallow Unistrut right there. They slide in this. It's like a track. Now the bolts can go right in with the washers and clamp down the unit. Here's a shot of the 3/4 inch long by 1/4 inch bolt, 1/4 bolt with a big fender washer, and it's going to trap the soil sensor unit right onto that Unistrut. Right, okay, now I've installed the two 1/4 inch bolts with the big fender washers right here into those cone nuts, and I'm going to slip the unit right in between these, and then these washers are going to clamp down on the flanges at both ends of the unit. There it is, it's mounted. You can see the fender washer trapped by that 1/4 3/4 inch bolt. It's dimpled down. It's very, very tight, top and bottom. So I didn't have to drill any holes in the NEMA 4 waterproof sensor box. And another thing I'm going to do is the cable like this that goes into the sensor, I'm going to put silicone, clear silicone caulking in there because it's facing up, and these connectors are built for like NEMA 4 outdoor use, but I still don't want to take a chance of some kind of water dripping into it. All right, this soil sensor at CIW has a basically Modbus address 41, you can see it, and then it has an IP address 192.168.1941. So Modbus 41, IP address ending in 41, CIW. Record that, so for future times, if you have to log into this unit, you can plug in with a laptop with an adapter cord into the jack that's sealed up here. That's for Ethernet straight to your laptop, or possibly you can log in through the data logger remotely and do firmware updates. According to REIG, the data is Modbus, and the 24 volts is the same data daisy chain that this irradiance sensor is tied into. So there's a J box right here, but it's just a splice, and that's the data and the power wires we need. And also there's a data terminal box that they put over here with proper terminals, and everything's labeled 24 volts positive, negative, and data positive, data negative. And I can double up in there, and it works really good. If you go on the bottom side, and slip those extra wires from our sensor right into that. Our new soiling sensor comes with a 125-foot cable, so I'm just gonna use what I need, about 20 feet, and terminate it right over there, and it'll be ready to go. Okay, still at CIW, hooking up the Mars soiling sensor, and here's the data box that's in the array. It's the second post in. They have one on the first post at the end where the sensor is, and they've been using 2 data boxes. I think they had this second one, like the main data cable in, main data cable out, and then they've got the back of the module temperature sensor hooked in here, and then at the end of the array is just a small splice through box where the POA sensor is. So this was only 20 feet from our new soiling sensor, and the terminals are really great. You just double up right here. So you got positive 24 volts, negative 24 volts. Positive data is brown and negative data is orange. So it's real easy to tie in there carefully and give them all a little tug to make sure they're all attached tightly, and then do some cable management. All right, there's the soiling sensor installed right next to the POA irradiance sensor on its little piece of Unistrut. You've got the connector, waterproof connector, all hooked up, and I recommend putting clear silicone in that little cavity where the wire goes in. I'm going to come back and do that before a lot of rain happens, but I think this connector is totally waterproof. It's not going to allow water to get into the box, but I still don't want it to get into there. And then the wire run just runs underneath along the torque tube with these other data wires. Mine's the neatest one that's straight and not loopy. These are big loops, shouldn't have happened. But and then there's the data box right there, just 20 feet away.